to the May 8th meeting here at the school service center. We are reconvening in open session. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Blattner?
Here.
Mr. Derby?
Here.
Ms. Kolovitz?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Paulson?
Here.
Mr. Rutledge?
Here.
Mr. Hamlin?
Here. Board members, are there any modifications to the agenda? All right, we're going to enter the public hearing. Board, I need a motion and a second to open the public hearing on the 2025 budget.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Jerpy,
Second.
second by Mr. Long. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Derby?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Ms. Kolovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes. We have no public comments regarding the budget. So, board, I need a motion and a second to close the public hearing on the fiscal year 25 amended budget.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Mr. Jerpy. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Derby?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Ms. Kolovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes. We have two action items tonight. The first action item is approval of the resolution. We have three? One, two, oh, three, you're right. Thank you. We have three action items tonight. The first was approval of the resolution adopting the amended fiscal year 25 budget. Dr. Schuler?
I'm going to pass it right off to Dr. O'Keefe.
Good evening. As soon as we get the presentation pulled up, we'll go through it. A reminder for the board and the public, the whole reason behind the amended budget is the overwhelming successful referendum last November and the fact that we issued the first debt associated with that referendum in March. Also, as a reminder that I'll move into that specific debt in March is not a part of the 2024 tax levy that was in mailboxes last week that will be incorporated into tax levies moving forward in the future. But just timeline again of things that happen. We know we begin this whole process in January. Back in March, we brought the tentative amended budget to you with some assimilation of numbers that we anticipated things looking like with the closing of the bonds. We closed the bonds specifically on March 25th, had all the closing documentation, and then tonight, the public hearing that was just open and closed, and then we're going to be asking the board to approve the amended budget. Again, the bond recap, a total of $76 million. The winning bid rate was actually 3.55%, which was almost 50 basis points below what was projected by PMA as we were sharing information with the public starting just a year ago. And the spread between the first bid and the last bid, and there were 12 bids, an enormous amount of bids for something like this was less than 6 basis points, a really, really tight spread and a great rate for the board and the community. $76 million in net proceeds. You can see our final maturity. There is a call provision built into this, meaning if the board so desires in the future, as of January 15th of 2034, you could consider reopening these specific bonds and refinancing these bonds if the market deems worthy of it. They are tax exempt bonds, which is part of the reason they were highly sought after. You've got a solid AA plus rating with S&P. PMA is our municipal advisor, and then Chapman & Cutler Bond Counsel, and then the underwriter, underwriter who bought the bonds was JP Morgan. So the amendment itself, just a reminder of all of our funds. We operate in funds 10 through 70. Really nothing different than what was discussed with the group just 2 months ago. Really refined some of the numbers related to tax receipts in the fall. We've had a better than anticipated year in interest earnings, just based on the lack of a movement at the federal level with the overnight funds rate that was anticipated throughout the year. So we just really went through and kind of massaged the budget in places where it made sense, added in everything related to the debt issuance to get to the point that we're at today. Specifically, if you look at the budget in aggregate, if you look at the bottom right here on the operating side, this is after construction, but on the operating side, it does show a $1.563 million projected deficit, but that is all tied specifically to board action last year to invest TIF dollars, TIF surplus dollars that came in from the city of Wheaton in fiscal year 24 to invest that into safety and security updates and measures in fiscal year 25, meaning the money was in the bank already. It's not a proceed that came into the budget this year. All of that was around cameras, our door swipes, and other safety updates at every single one of our schools. That's where we anticipate being this year. So in essence, that would be a net, a neutral budget as a whole. If you look side by side between the approved budget and the final amended budget, the difference there is with the bond proceeds, the board has been able to reimburse itself for any out-of-pocket expenditures that happened in advance of the referendum. And then in addition to that, money spent between the referendum and when the bond proceeds were received. So you have been reimbursed in full for all of your out-of-pocket expenses related to that, and that's why the deficit looks a little different. So if purely just looking at the operating side of things, we are transferring 10.9 or anticipate transferring $10.9 million into the capital projects fund that pays for all of your summer of 2024 work, which is done. That pays for any referendum work in advance of the referendum, any referendum work that has occurred since the referendum, and then any costs related to your construction management and architectural firm to get to that $1,563,000, which matches the previous slide. So you have a balanced operating budget as we have for the past now 15 years. And that's your recap.
Board, any questions?
Can you refresh my memory on how much we spent that we're getting reimbursed for?
The total prior to the referendum was a little bit less than 1.3 million in aggregate, but when the bond proceeds were received, a little less than 3 million.
Okay, thank you.
Board, any other questions? All right, I need a motion and a second to approve the resolution to adopt the amended fiscal year 25 budget as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Mr. Jerpy. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Gerby?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Ms. Colovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Mr. Levin?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes. Our next action item is approval of the collective bargaining agreement with the Classified Employees Association for 2025 to 2028. Dr. Schuler?
Yeah, we're pleased to bring this to the board tonight. I don't think it's any secret, especially this week, as we've talked a lot about staff appreciation, that clearly our most valued asset in the school district are our employee groups. And so when we have an opportunity to bring to you a labor agreement that will cover the next 3 years with one of our groups, we're just extremely pleased to do that. What we're presenting to the board tonight, as we reviewed in closed session, is the 3-year collective bargaining agreement that will run from 7/1/25 to 6/30 of 2028. So the next 3 years. I'm going to ask Brian just to kind of quickly highlight changes in medical insurance, because that was a really significant component of the contract, and then we'll ask Mr. Biskin to just highlight a couple of salary elements, and then happy to answer any other questions that the board has. So, Dr. O'Keefe.
Yep, thank you. So biggest change on the medical side of things was moving all employees within the bargaining unit who are accessing or would like to access HMO to a standard 80/20 across the board. That specifically was broken down by years of service and the different groups, classification groups or job groups in the past, so there was not uniformity across the board. Now there will be uniformity moving forward, and then moving up the 50/50 PPO contribution to those currently existing within the PPO plans, technically as of March 1st, those that are already accessing the PPO plans from 50/50 to 60/40, but leaving the 50/50 in place to any existing employee who is not accessing and decides to access a PPO in the future, the same, and then anybody new to the system, the same at 50/50.
And then from a wage increase standpoint, we have all returning employees in 25-26 are going to receive an increase over their 24-25 base hourly wage. 75 cents an hour for LTAs, $1 an hour for employees in all grades other than LTA and C2, including attendance, secretaries, and then $1.25 an hour for grade C2. 26-27, we have a fixed increase of not less than 3% and not more than 4% over the base hourly wage earned by each CEA member in the 25-26 school year. And then a blended CPI will be used to determine the annual increase, and then the CPI used for levy 2024 and levy 2025 will be averaged. And then 27-28, a fixed increase of not less than 3%, which is the floor, and not more than 4% over the base hourly wage earned by each CEA member in the 26-27 school year. And then a blended CPI will be used to determine the annual increase. So all of this falls within the 5-year budget projection.
Mr. Biskin, just a quick summary on the pieces we codified around the behavior technician piece and some of the other premium opportunities.
Sure. So we have, when an LTA completes the 40-hour RBT certification and working in an instructional high-needs self-contained classroom, they're going to receive $4 plus $2 for high-needs instructional classroom for a total of 6 hours over the base. This is an increase that will be classified as an extra duty. So there is a pathway for people to make $6 over that.
Great. Thank you. So I think it covers the summary. Again, I want to thank, I see Penny sitting out in the audience. Certainly Penny has been a tremendous advocate for her employee group. Certainly a great partner for us to work with in the district. That I think any time that you're negotiating a collective bargaining agreement, I think the goal is to try to find good solutions that serve certainly the goals of the organization, goals of the school district, and actually recognize and appropriately support our employees. And so Penny's been a great partner with us in that, so thank you for that. So it's our pleasure this evening to recommend to the board that you now take action on approving this new collective bargaining agreement.
Thank you, Dr. Schuler. Board, are there any questions or comments?
I just want to comment, I will not be voting since my wife is part of the union. Just want
Thank
that
you.
on the record.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Any other questions or comments? All right, board, I need a motion and a second to approve the sorry, I read the wrong one. I need a motion and a second to approve the collective bargaining agreement with the Classified Employees Association for 2025 to 2028 as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Paulson,
Second.
second by Ms. Kulovitz. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Ms. Kulovitz?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Mr. Jerpy?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Abstain.
Mr. Rutledge?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes. Next action item is approval of outstanding minutes from April 9, 2025 regular meeting, open and closed, April 12, 2025 coffee with the board, open, and April 23, 2025 committee of the whole, open and closed. Dr. Schuler?
I feel like since this is really the last action item for Mr. Paulson, I've got about a 25-minute presentation on this topic too.
Sure.
I have no additional information on the agenda, the minutes.
I think each board member should go around and comment on this action item. Just kidding. All right. Any questions, board? All right, board, I need a motion and a second to approve the outstanding minutes of the April 9, 2025 regular meeting, open and closed, April 12, 2025 coffee with the board, open, and April 23, 2025 committee of the whole, open and closed as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Mr. Rutledge. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Mr. Jerpy?
Yes.
Ms. Kulovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Paulson?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes. We're on to recognitions and achievements. Dr. Schuler?
Yes, we have only one item for recognition. So I know a little bit earlier this week, our team, board members, administrators had an opportunity to thank Brad for his service on the board. So I'm going to keep it really simple tonight, Brad, and saying on behalf of our team, on behalf of my former colleagues that had the opportunity to work with you, I know your former board colleagues, 12 years of service on the Board of Education is about as unselfish of a volunteer opportunity as you could really think about in the community. I say it often that I don't think sometimes people in the community recognize this is a true volunteer opportunity, job, and you do it on behalf of the kids in our community, our school district. I could go back and tick off all that's been done in your time on the board super quickly. 3 strategic plans, an Engage 200 opportunity, 2 successful referendums, approval of what will be $250 million, and work to improve our facilities, new pathway opportunities for our kids, expansion of early college opportunity, expansion of our community engagement processes through CAC and other pieces. So you've done a lot for this community, and so I have for you tonight a certificate to thank you for your time and for the opportunity to partner with you in District 200.
Board, you're welcome to make, I mean, we had a really nice recognition of Brad the other night, but if there's anything else you'd like to add.
Just a couple words. So I've been 6 years on the board, so your second half of your tenure, you were board president, elected board president, I think on my first night. So those 2 years, and you led through what, the second half of that was COVID, and you led with calmness and, really kept us unified as a board. Worked on facilities with you for a year. I learned a lot from you. With your professional background, the insight that you've provided, I really appreciate you staying on this last 4 years to see the middle school work through, because
Credit, Rob.
I think it's been very valuable, because you have insight that the rest of us have. And after your 2 years as president, you stepped back and to be just a board member, and you've done that with humility. And I don't think I ever heard you kind of play second guess Chris or Rob as the former president. So I think you've just been a good role model and a good example. So thank you for everything.
Thanks.
I'll go next. We'll go circle. So Brad wants us to take a lot of time talking here tonight. He doesn't want us to be quick. So let's see, where should I start? So it all started with ice cream with your daughter serving us, and you were my mentor. So thank you. I helped. I was very lost. And so I thank you for all that. I don't like all these goodbye things because it's breaking up a family. So I'll just keep talking. I might start a rumor. So I know that you really appreciate John, and we were talking the other night about how John has served on the city council, and now he's serving on the school board. So I may suggest that you might want to run for city council in a couple years.
Wow. So that's a maybe.
Just think about it. Yes.
Pamela. No.
I think that's a maybe. So on that note, thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
I just want to thank you for the 12 years of service. Having now been on the board for 2 years, it's even more meaningful to think about what that really means in terms of both hours and effort you've given, as well as the benefit that's brought the community. And on a personal note, just your counsel, as I was considering running for board, was incredibly valuable. And your ongoing insights, counsel, patience with the learning process that we all go through is very much appreciated. So I wish you tremendous joy in recapturing some of these hours to spend on other pursuits. Thank you so much.
Brad, I think you commented the other night about our meeting as a result of Liz Corey's introduction. And it wasn't long after that my respect for you led me to invite you in to help on a project on my day job. And it was a disaster, but not due to us. It was just a really messy situation for which there was no solution. But I appreciated your suggestions, your input, your observations. That was a big help. And then when this opportunity came along, you were there to support me for that as well. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the last 2 years on the facilities committee with you. You bring expertise and have brought expertise to this whole process for the middle schools, and it's been very, very useful. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I expect to hear from you sometime shortly before our next board meeting.
Enjoy your retirement. It is well deserved. in serving with you, there are two things that really stand out. The first is, I told you the other night, I think you've perfected the art of school boarding. That one thing I have learned from you is that sometimes when we get decisions and we're stuck on details, is you always bring it back to the big picture of, what does it say in our strategic plan? What does it say in our portrait or graduate of what we want these kids to be at after they graduate our system? And I think that's so important and something that I've learned. I also remember the first time I met you after being appointed, the Brad's top 10 list, which I still have, of very just practical points to just get this important job right. So you taught me so much, and I just really appreciate that. And then just that's kind of wearing my school board hat and wearing my parent hat. You were board president in some really, really hard times. And as Jeff said, this is such a selfless job. And just as a parent of 3 kids in the system, like, thank you for volunteering all of your time and doing what you do to help my kids. And thanks to your wife, because I know that's a burden on them. But I as a parent, I just really appreciate all you've done.
I have nothing. No, just kidding. You're, as some other people have said, you're an incredible mentor to board members, right? That wisdom just comes through, and that guidance is huge. And for any board member, whether you've been around a while or you're new, seeking Brad out for insight is critical, right? I really appreciate your wisdom and mentoring me as I was going through my decision 8 years ago now, right? Became really good friends, and I'll cherish that. We'll take that forward. And then lastly, to put in a context, I said this before, but I'll say it again. I believe, if my math is right, kids you handed diplomas your first year, I think are getting ready to turn 30. Just a data point. I think that math is right. But I just want to say thank you for your wisdom. And what most people may not know, other than his family, is Brad has such a soft heart. It's awesome. I really appreciate that about you. So thank you.
Thank you. So now I have to talk. I think, by the way, the kids who are going to get diplomas in a couple weeks, I think they were in first grade when I joined, maybe kindergarten. I think when we've done this in the past, there's always been 2 board members. Right. So I don't like everybody talking about me that much. It makes me uncomfortable. So I'm going to talk about a lot of other people. And like Brian kept it under 5 minutes, I'm going to try to keep it under 90 seconds. I do have notes. Of course, no thank you can go without thanking my wife, Pamela, and my 2 daughters, Jules and Carissa, who I'm sure are watching on YouTube, or they'll probably watch it tomorrow. As I put in a Facebook post today, they kind of they learned when they needed to put their arms around me, and they learned when they needed to go take the dog for a walk. And you made reference to 2020. That dog, if we would have had that dog at the time, we would have got a lot of walks. And of course, thank you, our community. My teacher group is here. Community teachers, staff, students. None of us do this for ourselves. We do this for them. And I think recently at the coffee, I think Mr. Wiglar's asked me the question that prompted really a big part of what I'm going to talk about. I asked about what my favorite successes and celebrations were. And I think without providing a long list of specifics, I'll just simply say that I'm proud of the way that we put our students first. We put our students first so they're best prepared for life after high school. Supported our teachers and staff before, during, and after the pandemic. I did enjoy most of the conversations with my teacher group. But I think I tried to listen and reflect what I heard and kind of fold that into some conversations. At least that's what I've heard from the group. Respected our taxpayers, and we're financially responsible in many ways that aren't seen. We engaged our community in numerous ways, and we maintain and improve the physical assets that they own, our school buildings. We accomplished all this with many board members, and so I want to acknowledge all the others that I sat around the table with. I learned from all of them, respected each one. So Rosemary Swanson, Barb Intahart, Joanne Coghill, Jim Vroman, Jim Gambiani, Jim Matheson, Susan Booten, Chris Crabtree, Mary Boa, and of course, all of you. I think we accomplished a lot together over those 12 years. and nobody does it alone. And then there's Dr. Schuler. I remember the first time we interviewed you here, I think here in the summer of 2014. I think you had just gotten back from like a family trip overseas, like literally the night before, the day before. And we've been together 11 years now. You corrected me. I still say it's almost 11 years. And we've been through a lot and accomplished a lot. You steadied the ship and adjusted our course in so many ways. So thank you investing a big part of your career and your family and our community. And I leave here tonight grateful that you're on our side. And so kind of in closing, I don't really talk much about topics for future discussion. So I thought I would leave one. I thought about what we've accomplished and what we haven't. So I guess I challenge all of you to think about, you know, exploring a big, bold move. I know strategic planning is coming up again. So think about what a big, bold move might be that changes the slope or trajectory of what success looks like in District 200. I don't know what it is. I don't have to know what it is. I'm just kind of laying it out there for you. I know you're all going to continue working together on the future, in the future. Maybe there's something ahead that can have a truly transformational impact on our community and our students. So good luck to all of you. You have my number. If you need anything, just can't call me till August. And that's that. And so, and now and forever, I'm going to turn my mic off for the last.
Thank you, Brad. All right, board, the time has come. The board must adjourn sine die in order to conduct the reorganization of the newly seated Board of Education. So board, I need a motion and a hold on.
So moved.
That's really funny. Board, I need a motion and a second to adjourn sine die in order to conduct the reorganization of the newly seated Board of Education.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Paulson. Need a second.
Second?
Second by Mr. Rutledge. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Paulson? Yes, please. Mr. Rutledge?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Mr. Durfee?
Yes.
Ms. Colovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin?
Yes. Thank you, board. All right. So we're going to do the budget at the end of our regular session.
Yeah,
You-
we'll,
yeah,
we'll let
understood.
Mr. Paulson sign it.
Oh, yeah, okay, and you did. Okay, great. Thank you. So Ms. Ebbison, come join us. Yeah. She get 'em on. See you, Brad. All right. We're ready to call the roll for the. Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. Okay, thank you. So we're going to call the roll to record the newly seated board. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Blattner?
Here.
Ms. Ebbison?
Here.
Mr. Durfee?
Here.
Ms. Colovitz?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Rutledge?
Here.
Mr. Hamlin?
Here. Our first action item tonight is to acknowledge the receipt of the April 1st, 2025 certified election results. Dr. Schuler?
Yeah, we received the official results, and I recommend this evening that you accept the April 1st certified election results.
Thank you. Board, any questions or comments? Hearing none. Board, I need a motion and a second to accept the April 1st, 2025 certified election results as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Jerpy.
Second.
Tie. Tie goes the runner. Second by Ms. Blattner. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Durfee?
Yes.
Ms. Blattner?
Yes.
Ms. Ebbison?
Yes.
Ms. Colovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge?
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes. All right, board. We're going to take the oath of office. So in your folder is a single-page piece of paper. We're going to read this together, led by Mr. Jerpy, who will kick us off when he's ready. So we're going to stand, and we're going to read the oath.
I, Eric Jerpy, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Wheaton Warrenville Community Unit School District 200 in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability. I further swear or affirm I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can only be made by a majority vote at a public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for the Wheaton Warrenville Community Unit School District 200. I shall assist in establishing a structure and environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community's school or schools. To advance the vision for Wheaton Warrenville Community Unit School District 200, and expect to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision that the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
More extra words. I'm like, what are those extra words? All right. So board, I need a motion and a second to name Dr. Jeff Schuler as the temporary president to preside over the election of the new president.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Ms. Culvitz. Ms. Hutchins, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Ms. Culvitz.
Yes.
Ms. Blattner.
Yes.
Ms. Evison.
Yes.
Mr. Jervy.
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge.
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Board members, thank you for your confidence in my ability to handle this important task. I will now open the floor for nominations for President of the Board of Education.
I nominate Rob Hanlon for president.
Board members, are there any other nominations for President? Okay, hearing none, we do not need a second. So we have a nomination for Rob Hamlin as President of the Board of Education. Mrs. Hutchison, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Rutledge.
Yes.
Ms. Blattner.
Yes.
Ms. Evison.
Yes.
Mr. Jervy.
Yes.
Ms. Culvitz.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Okay, board members, again, thank you for your confidence in my ability to handle that task. I'll now hand it back to Mr. Hanlon.
Well done. So board, I need a nomination for vice president of the Board of Education.
I would like to nominate Ms. Kulovitz.
Ms. Kulowitz was nominated by Mr. Jerpy. Any other nominations? We don't need to second. Therefore, board, I need a roll call vote on the nomination of Julie Kulowitz as vice president.
Mr. Jervy.
Yes.
Ms. Blattner.
Yes.
Ms. Evison.
Yes.
Ms. Culvitz.
Yes.
Mr. Long.
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge.
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes. Ms. Kulowitz is now the board's new vice president. So board, I need a nomination for secretary of the Board of Education.
I nominate Dave Long.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, we don't need a second. So board, Ms. Hutchison, I need a roll call on the nomination of Dave Long as secretary.
Ms. Culvitz,
Yes.
Ms. Blattner,
Yes.
Ms. Evison,
Yes.
Mr. Durfee,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Rutledge,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes. We have one action item, adoption of the Board of Education meeting calendar for 2025-2026. Dr. Schuler?
And so board members, in your packet, you have a proposed meeting calendar. Just as a reminder, this meeting calendar begins in July because you already have an approved meeting calendar that goes through June. So you have established May and June regular meetings. Also, as a reminder, we posted 2 special meetings in May and June. That is for the purpose of approving construction bids as we move through phase 2 of the middle school construction projects. That does also present an opportunity through those special meetings to probably take care of a few other pieces of business in a timely manner. So those are already approved. So this meeting calendar begins with your July regular meeting on the 9th, follows the same pattern that we've always followed. In the second Wednesday of every month for your regular meeting, there are 5 months where you have a committee of the whole meeting on the 4th Wednesday of the month. We also do post on the calendar the 4 Coffee with the Board sessions, which take place in September, in December, in February, and then again in April. There are meeting locations for each of those meetings. Again, proposing your regular meetings rotate through school buildings. All meetings posted for 7 o'clock other than the Coffee with the Board sessions that are at 9 a.m. since they're on Saturday morning.
Thank you, Dr. Schuler. Board, are there any questions or comments?
And good job with that spider.
Yeah, Ms. Kolovitz, nice job. Apparently the role of the vice president is new spider killer. All right, board, any questions or comments? All right, board, I need a motion and a second to adopt the Board of Education meeting calendar for 2025 and 2026 school year as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Rutledge,
Second.
second by Ms. Kolovitz. Ms. Hutchison, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Rutledge,
Yes.
Ms. Culvitz,
Yes.
Ms. Blattner,
Yes.
Ms. Evison,
Yes.
Mr. Durfee,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Hamlin.
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon, can I just ask one more thing, not tied to that item just passed, but isn't in the script and it's not, doesn't require any action, but committee assignments, can you share committee assignments for us?
I don't
Are
have
you
those
ready?
with me right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
okay.
Yeah. No, I don't have the, maybe I do. I will do it next time. Okay. Thanks. Sorry about that. We have decided them. I just don't remember what they are. So we will cover that next time. So board, we have no public comments. Anyone signed up for public comments? So there being no further action to come before the board in open session, I need a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Ms. Blattner. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Our meeting is adjourned tonight. Thank you. Oh. There's actually, I believe, treats and cupcakes outside.